Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another Optc video, and in today's video, I'm doing a bit of a showcase video on the new Germa 66, the last Sugo to release on the 6th anniversary of Optc Global. Now, this unit is so much fun. I love the design of this unit. I gotta say, their ink effect, it looks really good too. But in today's video, I have a couple little clips for you guys, sort of showcasing what these guys can do. And the effectiveness is them as mainly as a sub, as well as like a friend captain. Now, these guys, if you guys don't know, the way they work is basically they sort of function around the captain swap mechanic, and they're built for basically side teams, but obviously you can run other units with them. But when you use them as a sub, when they become your captain, they can do some crazy things. So when they become the captain, they give you a full board of T&D orbs. They boost side character slot effects by 2.25 for 2 turns. And then they become super effective against all types, as well as being a 5 times captain if you have a Psi or a T&D orb for your Psi unit. So they're very good, especially when you are running mono Psi. And you'll see that in the last clip against the Garp's challenge. But today, I have 2 Coliseum clips for you guys. We have an ambush against Garp, a couple PvP matches, and then we're going to finish off with the Garp's challenge. So the unit's it's a lot of fun, as I mentioned, utilizing that swap mechanic, as well as Psi just being like the best color in the game. They also like unlock the Psi team as well in PvP, which is really cool. So that's enough about the unit. Let's hop in. Let's check out the clips. Alright, so the first clip is against the new Coliseum Okiku. Now, this particular Coliseum was sort of built around Luffy Sanji, so I did use Luffy Sanji as my leader, but I did bring a friend, Germa. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, Germa are just so much fun to use as a sub, because they have that captain swap mechanic. And the big thing about their captain swap mechanic is when they become the captain, they are super effective against all types. Now, they only give an orb boost to Psi, which is probably their biggest downfall. But because they're super effective against all types, you can activate their super typing when you become a captain. They can just put up some crazy numbers. They can hit very hard, and that's sort of what makes them so like viable on most teams. I really enjoy running them, obviously, with Luffy Sanji. They work very well. You can always hybrid up Luffy Sanji with V2 Snake Man, and that way you can activate both the super typings. Having Germa as a sub coming in, getting the Psi super typing that way, and then using Luffy to get the strength super typing. So if you're running Luffy Sanji as your captain, you could have super typing on both Luffy and Sanji, which is really cool. You can do the same thing with Odin. But another unit that I really like to use Germa with, that I've been having a lot of fun with, is actually V3 Boa. V3 Boa, the ability to use her super typing to get the attack buff, and then use the special of Germa, become the captain, get an orb buff, super effective against all types with a 2.5 times attack and a 2.25 times orb boost, is just incredibly strong. But you guys will see that in some of the later clips. For now, we're going to focus on Luffy Sanji and Germa as a sub, with a friend's Germa as well. Now, Germa as a captain are actually fairly solid as a Psi leader. I don't really recommend using them as your own captain. Definitely if you want to bring 2 of them, because they still have a very good special. 2 turns of a 2.25 times orb boost should not be shrugged at. But if you are bringing your own, I would definitely recommend using them as a sub, and then bringing a friend Germa. That way you can just make the best of both worlds. So as I've been rambling, we sort of made our way to the final stage against Okiku. As I mentioned, if you just bring like a Luffy Sanji friend or your own to this particular fight, you're going to have a good time. But this is where we can see the captain swap mechanic kick into play when we do use our Germa special as our final special here. So we're going to use their special. It's going to activate the orb buff. And once we become captain, we can actually use their super typing as well, which means that we can actually get a chain multiplier growth, as well as an orb block mechanic very similar to Roger's. Now, the upside to giving the orb block is actually because when they become captain in their special, they give you a full board of T&D orbs. And with Luffy Sanji as your leader with their switch ability, as well as having Germa, you can actually get T&D and recovery orbs matching, which is really cool, as Germa actually provide T&D orbs as matching as sub for your Psi units, I think, or it might be for your entire crew. So as you guys can see here, with all of our buffs activated, we can just absolutely fly through. It's like something like, what, 29 million against Okiku there, which is just so much goddamn damage. So on to the next Coliseum now. I thought I'd keep the trend going with the anniversary, and we are versing Katakuri. Now, Katakuri is an int unit, but he does turn into a psi unit at the end. But with Germa being super effective against all types, it just works very, very well, as it doesn't really matter what type of, like, what color enemy you're versing, as Germa is just always going to be hitting ridiculously hard if they swapped into your captain. So with this team, we are using V3 Boa as our captain. As I mentioned before, I love using V3 Boa with Germa as a sub. It works very, very well. Germa being an orb booster, Boa being an attack booster. Boa, I think, is a little bit of a better captain, purely just because I think her super typing is just way better. She's got one of the best super typings in the game. If you had to ask me, I would say she has one of the best super typings in the game. But with the rest of the team, we have the Stampede Nami, who's not essential. She's just here for cooldowns. But then I realized I could just use Boa special instead. And then we've got Chopper on this team as well. Now, Chopper's pretty handy, as he can remove Special Bind and Despair. So when we get to the final stage against Katakuri and he turns from an into a Psi unit, he does give us one special only. So that's why I really wanted to showcase this particular team comp against Katakuri, as utilizing Germa and Boa together, you can actually get around these mechanics fairly easily. So we're going to use our Chopper special here. That way we can remove all the nasty debuffs. And then on the second turn, we can use our Boa super typing first, get the attack boost and the full border orbs, and then we can finish it off with our Germa special. Now, Germa is going to become our captain. He's going to become super effective against all types. Then we can use the super typing as well, and we can actually get our hands on a chain multiply buff as well. So literally just with like one special, technically, we can actually just get so many things going for us with an attack boost, a full border orbs. Even though he makes the Psi color unfavorable, we've got T&D orbs is matching. We've got a chain buff, we've got an orb buff, and as you guys will see here, finishing off with Germa, hitting for something like 10 mil, which is just crazy. Being able to hit like 10 mil on just every color in the game, it's just absolutely wild. Absolutely wild. On the next particular clip, we are coming up against Ambush Garp. So, against Ambush Garp, I actually just threw this team together and took on the Fujitora Coliseum, because I was going to add that because he has a blow away your captain mechanic, and I was going to show that you can actually use Germa to like get around pieces of content like that. But if you are looking to take on the Ambush of Garp, taking on Fujitora with this team is very, very easy. On stage 4, you just switch with your Germa, and then when he blows away your captain, you just don't even have to worry about it. This is like the only time where I'm actually going to be using this Kizuna Kaido as well, so I thought, you know, like, we'll just slap him in the video. I'm very happy I actually brought Chopper, as Chopper does special seal quick units on the final stage. I just brought him here because Chopper is just very, very good at getting around basically all the nasty debuffs that this game has to offer. And then finally, we have Shanks' crew just to proc Roger's super typing, as well as being an absolute monster of a unit that he is. We did manage to get a skull drop here as well. So Roger's another very, very good captain that Germa works with, as Roger is a attack booster and Germa is an orb booster. They work very, very well as a sub on a Roger team. Roger can just provide so much damage with his attack boost, and then utilizing the Germa special to give an orb boost as well as become that captain. Hitting with super effective against all types on a Roger team is just absurd amounts of damage. Plus, because Roger is a rainbow captain, you just have access to so many good subs to get you through the majority of the fight before you use the Germa special. So even if your whole team, like this particular team here with Kaido, isn't being boosted, you can rely on the majority of your team doing most of the damage, and then letting Germa just sort of like do the heavy lifting. If you guys haven't done Ambush Garp before, when you do kill him, he does res, and he has like nullified damage. He does a whole bunch of nasty stuff, but there is a trick to get around that with the insta-kill mechanic that Rare Recruit Sugar, Kizuna Kaido, or Garp himself can actually provide. So with this team, I'm very glad that I actually brought Chopper to get around the special bind. If I didn't have Chopper here, that just basically wouldn't have worked. But because Garp comes back with 20% HP or less, we can just use Kaido and just win. So Roger's another very, very good unit that works great with Germa. Using Roger as a captain and then Germa as the sub just works phenomenally, as Roger's your attack booster and then Germa is your orb booster. So on to the next clips now. We're actually going to do some PvP. So I managed to find basically the stereotypical int team that you normally come up against, and this particular team that I've actually built is basically an int killer. So we have V3 Law, we have V2 Kuzan, V3 Boa, Roger, and Germa themselves, and then we have Kongola and Nolan on the bench, as they're just like back-ended damage. They come in, they get their special, and they just basically kill something. So in this first particular fight, we are taking on the regular Blackbeard katakuri Doffy comp. They do have Pudding on this particular team and Enel as well. So very stereotypical in team. I don't think it is max level, but in saying that, neither is my team. My team's like fairly leveled up, but it's not max. Like Germa, Boa, and Kuzan are all like level 7 special, I'm pretty sure. I have been tossing and turning, trying to figure out who's better, Kizaru or Kuzan for this particular team. And I think Kuzan probably takes the cake because he just buffs all of Sai. But as you can see, after using Boa special, they have minus 13 attack. Boa just nerfs the crap out of their attack. We can nerf the crap out of their defense with Kuzan. And then we can actually paralyze them and just do a buttload of fixed damage with Germa. Germa's very, very good because they give defense up as well as HP, which this team sort of lacks a little bit. With the mass amount of speed that this team has as well, we can use rely on Roger to lower their attack, lower their speed, and lower their defense. So then our Sai units can just come in and clean house. Boa, Kuzan, and Germa all nerf int units, as well as Law nerfing Driven, Powerhouse, and something else. Cerebral? Maybe? Something like that. But as you saw, it worked very, very well. On the next particular fight, I actually managed to find the int crit team with Little Oz Jr. So this sort of team was actually like a very good test. As again, it is mono int, so as I like to say, call this team is a mono int killer. It actually worked very, very well as Mihawk. If you can just get rid of Mihawk and obviously Law, you're basically hunky-dory. So as you can see that every time he's hitting crits, he's dropping my defense as well as raising his attack. Now, the beautiful thing for him is every time that happens, he's getting more attack output and I'm taking more damage. But funny enough, we've just lowered, we lower attack with all of our units. So when Roger hits, he lowers the defense. He lowers all the attack that they just built up. Boa's basically going to come in and just do one big... She can do up to 4,000 damage on her single target. And she's basically just going to kill the enemy that has the lowest HP. The beautiful thing about this particular team too is with V3 Law, obviously being a side booster, he will just basically remove all debuffs. So if we get Special Bound from Law, he can remove that, as well as Action Bind as well. And as you saw there, we just sort of flew through their HP, just taking them their defense, taking away their speed so they can't attack, as well as dropping their attack. So for the final fight, I found this weird sort of Sai strength combination. It utilizes V1 Whitebeard, Roger and Odin, Luffy, and then... Oh, sorry, not Luffy. Luffy, Sanji, and then Kolgar and Noland. Now, I didn't think I would actually win this fight. Obviously, the Roger-Odin combo is, like, still very, very prevalent. But somehow we still managed to get the dub. Now, as I'm watching this back, I don't know what's going on with the video quality of just this particular fight. So I do apologize about that. But... coming up against Roger and Odin, because Kuzan actually nerfs strength, it actually takes a massive hindrance on Odin. And because we have a lot more special cooldown and speed, we can actually pop our Roger off first to lower Odin's attack as well as his defense before he can pop his special off. Now, he still has 19 attack, unfortunately, so he is still going to be doing a lot of damage, as you'll see. I think he actually kills my, Germa, unfortunately. But that's okay, because we did manage to get their special off first. And then Kolgar and Nolan can come in and start doing some damage. Unfortunately, we do lose Kuzan here as well. So when we lost Kuzan, I sort of just basically was like, okay, well, this is GG. But somehow we did manage to clutch this, just utilizing Boa and her single target, as well as Law taking up all, just basically... cleaning up all the scraps that were left behind with the Germa and the Roger special. Finally, we just clean up with Kolgar and Noland, and then we can just sort of take the rest out with normal attacks as they just lost all their defense. So I don't think this team was completely maxed, and it was a bit wonky, but the fact that we can nerf strength units helps out quite a bit as we can sort of just get around Odin's massive attack. So for the final clip of the video, we are taking on Garp's Challenge Heavenly Demon 1. Now, this team that you see on screen can actually complete all of the regular Garp's challenges. The Enel, Whitebeard, Doffy 1 and Revolutionary Army 1. But for Enel, you do need to bring Shank's crew as a friend captain. Let me know if you guys want me to post a video utilizing just like mono Psy. One team beats all, I guess. I did a couple runs on stream today, and we did it with In on stream like accidentally, and then after doing that, I sort of just like threw together some teams, and Psy was actually pretty easy to do. So with the Heavenly Demon 1 being back, thank God, I just basically thought, well, what better option to take on a Garp challenge for the showcase? And in my opinion, I think Heavenly Demon 1 is probably the hardest out of all of the basic Garp challenges. Enel is a bit tricky to get around, but once you know what Enel does, it's fairly easy to sort of windle your way through. But against Doffy, there's heaps of paralysis, there's heaps of despair, and it's 4 turns as well, so bringing characters to get around that is fairly finicky. But with this team, we do have Boa as our leader, as I mentioned. Boa is the most fun with Germa as a sub for me. I find that it works the best. And then using a friend Germa, so that way we can just show off the true potential of Germa as a captain, as well as a sub with their switchability, like the captain swap ability. This team actually managed to like tear through the event as well. It did it very, very comfortably, and actually did it very, 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 very fast. So if you are looking for a team that can do all of them, this team is well up your alley. The notable supports are Bardo on our Robin, as well as Neko on our Chopper. And then we have Pudding on Luffy Sanji, obviously, for the Enel fight as well. So, this team just, like, tears its way through. Being a 5 times captain when you have matching orbs works very, very well, as Germa is a solid captain for mono Psy teams. But normally when you are running him, well, not normally, like, majority of the time when you are running the unit, they're always going to see play as a sub. And honestly, they're probably one of the best subs in the entire game, purely for what they provide in terms of that super effective against all types. I just can't stress that enough, how amazing that super effective against all types is, as well as like becoming like giving an extra super type special on top of another color super type. So hypothetically, you could run this guy on a like I said, a Luffy Sanji team with a friend V2 Snake Man, pop the V2 Snake Man, super typing to make strength characters super types, and then use the special of Germa, become the captain, use the Psy super type, and then just have Psy and strength super typings as well. Or you could even do some more funky stuff with someone like Legend Kid, and then use Legend Kid's super typing to get Dex, and then swap into Psy, and then just have like a whole rainbow team going. But that's some crazy team building like going on there, and it would be a bit tricky to sort of, depending on the content, I guess, is what you'd be doing that for. But the fact that you can do it is just really, really cool. So here we are on the final stage against Doffy. I'm going to leave you with the rest of this clip, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to go down there and belt that like button. And if you want to stay up to date with more Optc content that I post, or you are new to my channel, consider hitting that big red subscribe button as well. And for all you bloody legends that have already subscribed, consider becoming members today by hitting that little join button, joining Stump's crew. We have a lot of fun, and if you want to join our Discord, the link will be in the description below too. But guys, most importantly, wherever you are in this beautiful world, make sure to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, guys, I thank you for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one. Lates!